Hello, everybody. It looks like we are live. Thank you so much for being here, as always. I'm of course your host, Justin Jorgensen, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every single episode, that I bring you guys some information, some stories, and some opinions of mine happening within the vast world of entertainment. And so, some news. I got a new laptop. It is the Acer Nitro 5, and it's by far the greatest laptop that I've ever, or computer in general, that I've ever owned. And with the faster GPU capabilities, and it's just better in every way than my old laptop. I don't even know what my old laptop was. It was HP something. It was a good little laptop, but it wasn't even close to being able to be able to go live like this through Streamlabs onto YouTube. And this is absolutely fantastic because hopefully, if anybody chooses to drop by, they can leave something in the comments, the chat. But if not, whatever. I don't really care. But I'm just glad that I can do this live. So hopefully, this will help my listenership and my base start growing a little bit. But everyone's got to start somewhere. So, and one more thing, I wasn't wondering, but if I were to change it from the Justin Jorgensen podcast to the Justin Jorgensen show, I don't know, is that something that you think would it sounds better, since I'm going to be doing it live now on YouTube and then publishing it to things like Podbean, Spotify, and stuff like that later? Let me know if you guys, let me know what you guys think. If I should change the name or just keep Justin Jorgensen podcast, whatever you guys think. But without further ado, let's get on to main topic number one. And main topic number one is actually something that actually kind of excites me, and it's that a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles CGI film is in the works at Seth Rogen's company, Point Grey Pictures. I did not know that Point Grey Pictures was Seth Rogen's company, but I looked it up, and obviously it is his company. And I have mixed feelings because he's proven that his studio can make good films. He has made, his studio made movies like Blockers and The Interview and Good Boys and what is the one? I don't know, Neighbors. Is that what it's called, with that Zac Efron? But 1 and 2, and then that is great because a lot of those movies are really funny and they're really good. However, I don't know if that's a good, if them taking the helm and the IP of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't know if that is a good plan. I don't know if they will be able to sell and to convey a good story, like a deep emotional story with the Ninja Turtles. Obviously, it's Ninja Turtles, so you don't need a super deep and dark, sad story. You don't need that. It's Ninja Turtles, but with their track record being so hit or miss, I'm excited, obviously, because at this point I will take any Ninja Turtles media that I get. It's pretty scarce nowadays. And I liked the 2014, 2016 TMNT films, but unfortunately, I am in the minority on that. But I did think they were actually good. I know they weren't great films, but I thought they were well made for the most part, and I enjoyed them a lot. It's for the newer generation of Ninja Turtles fans, so everyone can have their own opinion on that. But essentially, what I feel on this story is that I don't know. I'm excited, like I said, because I'll take any Ninja Turtles media that I get, but at the same time, I'm cautiously optimistic. That's what I'll say. I'm excited, but I'm also I'm not going to say worried. I'm just going to say I'm going to stay cautious. I'm not going to get too excited until I see a trailer or I see some still images or something, and it's a CGI film. It's just like the 2007 one, which I actually thought was really, really good. It's just like that. It's not like the 2014, 2016 films where it was CGI turtles within a real world. It's going to be completely CGI, and I think that will actually benefit the film because they are very hit or miss. The live action ones are, because it can be hard to incorporate CG within the real world and have it look convincing. So I think that having a fully CG film can and will most likely benefit this film in the long run. So yeah, it's a good studio, but I just don't know if they're right for this job. But I guess I'll just see. We barely know anything about this movie yet, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, the real question here, guys, is what do you guys think? I look forward to hearing what you guys think down below. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think that Point Grey Pictures is the perfect studio to helm the next Ninja Turtles film? Or are you worried? Or are you cautiously optimistic? How do you feel about this whole situation? Jump in the comment section below and let me know your guys' thoughts. And with that down, we can move on to topic number 2, which is, now this one is super, super random, but it is something that I've actually been thinking about for the past couple days, and that is, why do I want an Incredibles 3? Now, obviously, who wouldn't want an Incredibles 3? But Incredibles 2, I think, is actually a better film than Incredibles 1. I think Incredibles 1 does... Each film does things better than the other film. I think Incredibles 2 does things better than Incredibles 1. I think Incredibles 1 is an absolutely fantastic film, but I just think I almost said Fantastic Four, but I think Incredibles 2 is just better. And one of the main reasons is because I think that Incredibles 2 does a great job at showing... The first time I watched this, I thought they were just trying to go for, girl power equality thing when they had made such a big deal about Elastigirl going out and doing the fighting instead of was that Mr. Fantastic? These are literally the same movies, but as Mr. Incredible. But I was thinking about it, and there is kind of a stereotype of the mom, the mom staying back helping the family while the dad goes out and fights crime. And I was like, oh, they're just flipping it on its head, just to show that the mom can do stuff too. And I was like, okay. But the more I got to think about it, I don't think that's what they were going for at all. And it might have been what they were going for, but it's just not how I interpreted it and how I viewed it. In my opinion, they did it because they showed that being a parent, and obviously I don't know this, I'm not a parent, but I don't have a kid. But they were trying to show that being a parent in itself makes you a hero. When you there's that, not montage, but they're all the parts of the film where Mr. Incredible is struggling. He can't get Jack to bed. He, quote, ruined Violet's life. He can't even help Dash with math because the stupid, idiotic Common Core curriculum was introduced, and my parents can't even help me with my math because they just it's just a mess. Common Core is just so stupid. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about Common Core. And I really, really did like how it showed that I almost said Mr. Fantastic again. These are literally the same exact films. Mr. Fantastic Four and The Incredibles, they're the same thing. They're the same thing. But it showed how much, or how hard it is to be a parent, and how much you have to sacrifice, and how difficult it can be to be a parent if you're not well equipped, if you don't know exactly what you're talking about. And obviously, as the movie goes on, Mr. Incredible starts doing better and he starts to learn more things. But that was one of the best things about the movie, in my opinion. I really, really liked Mr. Incredible staying back and letting Elastigirl do some of the fighting, and showing that the dad isn't just some plot device to move the story forward. He actually has a purpose, and the family dynamic in Incredibles 2 as a whole, in my opinion, is much, much more solid and much better than Incredibles 1. And I'm not bashing on Incredibles 1 at all. I think they're both Pixar at its best. They're incredible films. Incredible. I didn't even play on that. That's funny. But I just like the themes and the motives and just the messages that Incredibles 2 was conveying more than Incredibles 1. And like I said, I'm not saying either film is bad. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying at all. Both films are excellent. But what I am saying is that I do prefer Incredibles 2 over Incredibles 1. And so I haven't even answered my question yet, what I want from Incredibles 3. And I just want what they did so well with Incredibles 1 and 2, and I just want that bumped up to 10. I want this to feel, if this is going to be the final Incredibles movie, which I think it might be, Incredibles 3 might be the last one, just because, Cars 3 ended at 3. I thought Toy Story was ending at 3, and then 9 years later they make Toy Story 4, and it's ridiculously successful, and it's a very good movie. But if they end in Incredibles 3, I'm gonna say this about every final installment in a saga or a trilogy. I want it to feel. I want it to feel either like Endgame, or I want it to feel. Oh no, what movie? Spider-Man 3. Sorry, my bad. Now a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh my gosh, why do you want it to end like Spider-Man 3? Spider-Man 3 was so bad." It's not bad. It's my favorite Spider-Man movie, but I want it to be. I want it to go out with a bang, just like Avengers Endgame did, like with a literal bang. It was absolutely fantastic. All the heroes they've met along the way, like in Incredibles 2, all those heroes you see at the end, even if some of them were kind of shallow, they were just kind of there to pose as threats for the Incredibles for their final conflict in the film. I want to see, I want to see them arrive at the battle. I want to see Frozone, obviously. I want to see the Incredibles there. I want to see a big bad villain that you can get behind. And I know it's asking for a lot, because I couldn't get behind the villain in Incredibles 2. Like Screenslaver, she was a bad guy, but it wasn't like Thanos or General Zod or something where I could get behind them in a sense. Obviously not all the way, oh yeah, Thanos, good job, kill half the people in the entire universe. No, but you can see how someone could get behind him and understand where he's coming from and understanding his motives. I want a villain that I can get behind and that I can relate to in a sense. And I want it to be so big, and I want it to be epic, and I want it to be the greatest moment in Pixar history. That final battle, I want it to be amazing. And another thing, okay, so when I mentioned Spider-Man 3, sorry, back to that. Like I said, I either want it to end like Endgame or I want it to end like Spider-Man 3. And Spider-Man 3's ending, they have the big battle, and not near as big as Endgame's, not even close. But it just ends with a really, really bittersweet moment between the two main characters, and then it just fades to black. Instead of having like the traditional final swing, that Spider-Man 1 and 2 had, I think Incredibles 3 could do something different, and maybe there's a tragedy in the family or something, and one of the family members dies or something, and then at the very end, there's a funeral, and then at the very, very end, it's just like a picture of, or not a picture, their kitchen is in shot, and then a song comes on, and then Mr. Fantastic, I did it again, and Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl they start slowly dancing in the kitchen, and it sounds super, super corny as I'm saying it out loud, but I think if you visualize it, and then they just dance the song slowly, and then just the music fades, and then the screen fades to black, and then the Incredibles 3 logo, and then none of the traditional fanfare they usually have in an Incredibles film, none of the you know what I mean. I'm gonna get copyrighted for that because it was so good, but you know what I mean. Just to do something different, and I think that's one of the biggest things I want is I want this film to go out there and I want it to do something different. I want it to end differently. I want it to do things differently that Incredibles 1 and 2 didn't do. And that's essentially it. And why do I want an Incredibles 3? Well, who doesn't want an Incredibles 3? Incredibles 1 and 2 are fantastic. But the real question is, what do you guys think? I know this is an insanely random topic, but we are hurting in the world of... we're hurting for news in the world of reporting what's happening in the world of entertainment, because nothing's happening within the world of entertainment because there are no movies coming out until beginning of August. So... what do you guys think? What do you guys want from Incredibles 3? Do you even want an Incredibles 3? Which I'm assuming most of you would. Jump in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think. And this final topic is not going to take us super long to discuss, but it is something big, and it is that HBO Max has replaced the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman with the Ultimate Cut. Now, I was one of the people that didn't really understand why they launched with the theatrical and not the Ultimate, because the Ultimate Cut is literally better in every single way. Bruce's Batman's motives, Superman's motives, why is Lois Lane even there, the nightmare sequence, the Africa sequence, Clark Kent actually doing reporting detective work, Batman actually doing detective work. It's great. It's a fantastically made, beautifully shot, wonderfully recorded film, and I absolutely love it. I love Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. Haters come at me, I don't care. But that's essentially, that's it. They replaced the theatrical cut with the Ultimate Edition, and why they didn't launch HBO Max with the Ultimate Edition, I don't know. I think that was kind of odd because obviously the Ultimate Edition was received light years better than the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut was a mess, but I'm glad it's on there now, and I just checked my HBO Max app on my phone to make sure that it actually was replaced and it wasn't just added, like they didn't keep the theatrical cut on there and just add in the Ultimate Edition, but it is true that both of them are there, the Ultimate Edition is there in its place, the theatrical cut is gone, and that makes me really happy because once the Snyder Cut launches, it will be Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, and then Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm incredibly excited for that, guys. And this may not seem like a big story or a super important story, but it is important in the sense that HBO Max, Warner Brothers, and AT&T know that this is the definitive version of the movie, and it might, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's the official canon one, but it may as well be from this point on. If they're going to erase Justice League theatrical and replace it with the Snyder Cut, you might as well have the theatrical cut be bogus and have the Ultimate Edition be what actually happens within the DCEU continuity. So that is essentially it, guys. Thank you so much as always for watching. I am so excited that I can finally do this show live, and let me know in the comments, should I change my name to the Justin Jorgensen Show or leave it podcast, whatever. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. And